Gratian, born Flavius Gratianus, was born in April 359 AD. His reign would be officially as Augustus from 367 to 383 AD, although he would be the sole ruler from 375 to 383 AD. His Caesar, between 367 and 375, was largely uneventful, and he mostly just accompanied his father on campaigns and stuff. But upon his ascension as the sole ruler, he did many important things. His most important action was most likely his appointment of Theodosius in the east as Augustus there. He would also defeat the Grithungi in 380 AD. You also see important influence from a notable bishop named Ambrose. He would be very important later, and this would help shape many of the future emperor's views. He also removed the privileges of the Vestal Virgins and removed the altar of victory from the Senate House. This was showing further this bad treatment of the pagans, and it was really just not a good look for him, at least in many of the pagans' eyes and the senators. But many Christians were happy with him because of this. But there was some discontentment in his reign, and in 383, a general named Maximus revolted from Gaul and Britain. His reign would be 5 years, and he would take over after Gratian. Now, uneasy settlement was reached, and there was at least a short-lived peace. His reign is largely uneventful, aside from a group of heretics that he dealt with in quite a brutal way. But in 388 AD, Theodosius wanted to appoint a puppet in the west and wanted somebody of the Valentinian dynasty. So he would defeat Magnus at the Battle of Save, and he would be executed. This would mark the end of him, and there's also a bunch of rumors in Britain, since he revolted from there and he took many troops, that this could be a source of the later loss of Britain. So let's talk about an important edict around this time. This would be a very important document called the Edict of Thessalonica. This would be very important as it would set the state religion as Christianity. And like I was talking about earlier, with the removal of the Statue of Victory and the removal of any privileges of the Vestal Virgins, you can really see almost the near collapse of paganism during the reign of these emperors. Let's talk about the final emperor, Valentinian II. Valentinian II, born Flavius Valentinius, was born in 371 AD. Although throughout most of his reign he was ruled by people. At first it was Gratian. After Gratian it was Maximus, who decided to keep him as kind of a puppet. And then after that it was a general named Arbogast, who would later depose him, and he would die in 392 AD. He's largely a weak and incompetent ruler who could really not assert himself in any way. Although the early reign is acceptable due to him only coming to power when he was a child. But he did have quite a long reign, at least officially, as Augustus. So that's nice, as at least a figurehead of the Valentinian dynasty. But anyway, let's rank these emperors. I would rank Maximus as largely incompetent usurper that only damaged the empire and weakened rule in Britannia. Valentinian II as a weak child emperor that is pretty forgettable and really did not do much or assert himself. And Gratian, who I put at C tier, as a good military commander who was a stabilizing force after the Battle of Adrianople with his decision to appoint Theodosius, who was pretty competent. Anyway, like, subscribe, comment, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Goodbye.